Fans of Need for Speed Unbound, do I have your attention with this screenshot? No? No? Oh, I thought that would get you. Maybe this one is a little bit exciting here. Need for Speed Unbound multiplayer. This is a pretty important topic to me because I play with you guys on challenges and we create events and we create our own fun. It's a beautiful Friday and we actually have some new screenshots to go along with this, one of which was leaked and one of which was not. It's actually in this article. You already know words are hard, so the Pants Man's gotcha. We're gonna tell you the details that you need to know. When you first jump online, this is what we're gonna see. You can see your banner card, you can see your character and your car. That's once you've created a character. Your character you make in single player is not tied to your multiplayer character. You make a brand new one so you could be both. The banner is gonna be like, I don't know why they didn't do license plates, kind of like Battlefield with the dog tags. That would have been super sick. I would love to see that, but the banner is what you see for yourself and you can change your background a little bit and it's a cool little thing. The progression is mostly separate multiplayer and single player. That's 100% confirmed now. So the big takeaway, and it's something I complained about previously, is the amount of players that can participate in a lobby. That is capped. 16 players in a lobby, 8 players in a race, and 4 players as a party. That disappoints me a little bit because that limits what we can do. You can only race with 3 other friends, unless you could be super sweaty and get into the same game as your friend. Maybe that's possible. We'll have to see. In the previous game, you couldn't see 16 players on screen at one time. This time, there's no mention that that's not possible. So maybe we can see the whole lobby, which again makes it more disappointing that we can't invite the whole lobby. I understand it's like anti-cheating, but what they go on to mention is that Lakeshore Online is pretty much just free roam. That's what we get from the go. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but based on this article, it seems like you jump into a separate instance and you get put into a server, you can party up, and you get put into a server. Once you're in that server with your friends or without, you're in a free roam and people will be doing collectibles, they'll be doing jumps and stunts. You can actually do challenges. Some of the challenges you do in single player actually carry over to unlock cars in multiplayer. It sounds like Most Wanted 2012 in that the progression in multiplayer, so most of the cars seem to be locked away. So there's some stuff you have to do. Here's one of the new screenshots, which I think looks super cool. I really hope the meetups are like just these really cool vibe filled areas. So you can then go to a meetup like we've discussed before in the single player and you can choose a tier list and then you can choose a tier to participate in. So it can be A class or S plus, for example, and then you do that playlist. And the more you win, the more money you get. It's speed list within the multiplayer. Now, my worry is it going to be another situation like it was in Need for Speed Heat? For those of you that were not there for that, essentially, we had a constant kind of multiplayer, single player thing going on. People were doing their own thing, and we tried to invite people to a race. They wouldn't join. Am I going to be doing races with 4 other people? Am I going to have to orchestrate between the community to invite 3 other people to participate in races? Am I going to once again have to do that, or we as a community have to really create our own fun here? I think one of the most disappointing things about the multiplayer, the tier-based playlists are a godsend. I think it should have been completely split. There should have been speedless separate with free roam, and free roam should have been its own thing. I understand why, because there's not too much to do in free roam. In fact, there are no takeovers in Lakeshore Online. There are no cops in Lakeshore Online, but they say at launch for both of these. They say there are no pink slip bets or side bets in Lakeshore Online at launch. That excites me and disappoints me twofold. Of course, they say at launch, which means there may potentially be a possibility of actually doing those things at a later date. At launch, it's daytime only, and the time of day doesn't change. To be honest, doesn't really bother me that much, but it would be cool to be able to swap between the two. The more races you win, the more XP you earn. So does that mean you get more XP as you level? That seems a bit interesting. Normally it gets harder, right? We do know it has crossplay. You can turn that off because PlayStation, for some reason, enforced that. You have to have the ability to turn it off. It's a little bit odd, to say the least. And race playlists require 2 players to participate to kick it off. So you can still just sweat with your friends. If the issue was that people could be cheating with their groups of friends, you can literally cheat with 1 friend. So in-game voice chat is confirmed. I'm not sure how well that's gonna go, but it might lead for some hilarious moments, that's for sure. You can also invite just your party for race playlists. It does quite honestly confuse me a little bit. It feels like all of this could have just been implemented into the single player. There should have been an online only speed list area, and this all drive should have been a thing once more. don't quite understand why they've split it in this way with this game. Either way, I'm looking forward to the online because the online segment of a Need for Speed game is always super exciting. It does just feel, though, this is a bombarded, just throwing at us limitations. It seems like a step back in a lot of ways. The no cops online seems a little bit odd. Having a Need for Speed without challenges based on cops, it just doesn't make, not even a cop event. Surely they could have done that. So in the crossover between multiplayer and single player, completing each of the qualifiers unlocks you a special driving tag, a legendary build added to your multiplayer ride. So there's some special cars and stuff we unlock, which, what about the M3? Maybe the M3? Completing each delivery mission in single player unlocks 13 unique builds. That's pretty damn cool. Winning specific events over the course of the campaign will also reward you with multiplayer rides, up to 10 unique builds. There's quite a lot of unique builds at play. Completing a special event will give you a custom car, custom horn. Of course, we don't know any more details other than that. Now here it says the rewards are shared between the collectible collection. So my question is, do you have to do it twice to have 100% on online and offline? Or do we need to do it once and like one and done? Like, is it cross-synced between the two? So as you can see, the multiplayer seems to have been pushed aside once again. It's a little, like, I don't want to say a little, it's quite significantly disappointing because I am really looking forward to the new features and stuff. I'm glad to see the tier-based events added to it. That makes so much sense. It's going to have a lot more variety in the playlists. What I would love to see is car class-based ones too. So SUVs only, pickup trucks only, JDM only, supercar only. I think that would make for some really fun events, and I think they're probably going to do something like that. What I do really want to see is maybe incentives for those people that wouldn't normally join an event to join in. Like, how about we make it pop up on the screen, and if you join, you get a 2x bonus, or unlock this special car if you complete this playlist with other people. That's why I think the burnout challenges are so much fun, because you could do the same thing. You could invite people to join burnout challenges, and then all of a sudden everyone would help you. There was so much community involvement, whereas competitiveness, it never seems to get the same feel. But it's glad that they're self-aware, I will say. When it comes to how they've listed it, they've said at launch these things will not be available. I'm grateful they added that little FAQ there, because there's going to be a lot of community questions about it, but it gives us the full details essentially of what the online is going to be. It's going to be a kind of dumbed down version of what's available. At least there is a multiplayer available, because Need for Speed Payback didn't have one. Technically, Heat didn't have a free roam mode. It was literally embedded into the single player. How do you feel about the split multiplayer and single player? I'm mixed on the idea. I think they can get this right. It depends how quickly they hurry up and get these updates out. We need cops online. We need switchable day and night time. Maybe just include it in the events. Like when everyone partakes in an event, it switches back to night on the next one. But in the events, there is varying time, day, changing weather, things like that. So it's not completely not there. But as someone that played a hell of a lot of Heat online, it does feel a little bit like a step back. That's playing with 3 other friends. We will find a way to break this. We are going to break this, okay, Criterion, and it's gonna be your fault. we're gonna mess it up, all right? I appreciate the honesty. I was looking forward to this drop. I'm glad we've got some new details. I'm glad the voice chat is there, because I'm gonna shout at people that do my absolute nutting. It's cool to see the garage is available in the same way, upgrading, unlocking cars. That's actually gonna be pretty fun to do. But if you want another Need for Speed Unbound news video, this one is mega positive. So this I'm looking forward to. Smash like, subscribe, and peace.